Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of One Take because life has no rehearsal. And today I am absolutely thrilled to bring one of my, I guess, I was going to say childhood, but we were not children anymore,
No, we were
but
not.
we were not. But one of the early friends, all the way from Spain, we were more or less neighbors, definitely friends in Spain, Emilio Almiñana. Emilio is an engineer. Uh, Curious thing about him, Emilio worked on the second largest dam in the world. It was called the Guri Dam. And let me see. Oh yeah, the Rio Caroni in Venezuela. And he was working for GTE in creating a network of sensors to level the water in the Guri Dam in
Yeah,
Venezuela. Just to give you an example, it is the second largest dam in the world. It's huge.
yeah,
So
it's huge.
Emilio,
But
welcome.
it hasn't been well maintained, well kept.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
so from a production of electricity, I don't know if it's not the second largest.
Yeah, probably, but it was huge in those days.
Oh yeah, at the time it was state of the art.
So Emilio, thank you very much. Welcome.
You know what?
Emilio now lives
Thank
in
you.
Boca, so that's almost there. Actually, going to Boca is as bad as going, I guess, to Naples or something.
Yeah.
But we're almost neighbors again. So thank you very much. So let's begin with the obvious one. Okay, you've had probably many decisive moments in your life
Yeah.
when you accepted a work in some jungle out there in Venezuela. You lived in Arizona. You've worked for very interesting companies. What are one or two decisive moments in your life?
Well, I mean, one decisive moment was when group of people from engineers and managers from GTE came to Caracas and interviewed some engineers that were working for GTE at the time, and because they were looking for people to work in the US. And based on that interview, uh, they they had interviews with several engineers, and then they offer engineers to three or four, five engineers. And I mean, it was a no-brainer at the time. A new experience. I was young and ready to to go to the next step in my life. And I decided, of course, I'm going to go to Phoenix. Research and development for GTE. It was also a very interesting job in a different way to work on a network, the telecommunication network for the U.S. Armed Forces. And we spent a few years in Phoenix, then moved to Florida to work for Siemens at the time. So that was one uh, easy moment to decide what to do. And at some point during my life, I I realized that I could do anything in my field. I could not be a doctor or something else or a dentist, but as a telecommunication engineer, I could work on anything. Even if it was a brand new idea, or I would learn that and be best at that area. So I had one of those moments also. Say, I have work on maybe I had like maybe 10 years working, and they decided, I'm not I'm not afraid at all to go to do anything in my area. I could work on any company, and I was sure about myself that I was going to be successful doing the technical work. The economic side of the of the job, it might be different. I was never attracted to do management. I was very happy to do the technical job and learn and design and create new things.
So you've also seen a lot of stuff, right? From flying helicopters in the jungles of Venezuela
Yeah,
to what we were talking about, a really cool phone system
yeah,
that preempted people based very much on status, so that if you're talking and the president wants to come in and there's no space for the president, boop, you're out and the
yeah.
president. So which you call preemption. So you've seen a lot of different industries within engineering. So what are one or two things that have changed that you would have never in 1,000 years expected it to change? And of course, the obvious question is, so what do you do about it?
I mean, I see because I work at the beginning, there were no cell phones, right? The cell phones maybe that you have in a phone require maybe a box that weighted like 60 pounds. uh, so the fixed line network, is what everyone was using, and if you were making an international call, it was costing you a ton of money, right? And there was a lot of money invested in fixed networks, but when the cellular networks started coming up, I thought this eventually was going to replace all the fixed lines, but it took a lot less time than I thought it was going to be. And we still use the fixed lines, but I mean, it's been years and years that I don't have a fixed line at home.
I don't have a
I don't
fixed
have the need for that. We used to have the need because we were connecting to internet with AOL or something like that. We
Oh, I
needed a
remember
modem,
that. Yes.
but right now we don't need any of that. And fixed lines are very reliable. They have been tested, 100 times. So I think it's difficult to find bugs in fixed lines, but unfortunately, not something that is not found in cellular networks. We still have problems in that side, because they continue developing, they continue making, creating networks in the cloud, things like that, and that's a whole new area, and it needs time to fix all the bugs while at the same time creating new things in the cellular networks.
Yeah. So when cell phones came out, I I was like absolutely convinced that that was the future. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really changed my mind, I had a small agency and I was associated with a company called Harris and Drury, which was one of the largest, if not the largest ad agency in South Florida. Big ad agency. And I remember I got a phone for my car.
Hmm.
And it was great because clients could call you up anytime and you could talk to clients. And there was also the status part of it. So I
Hmm.
remember John Drury, who was one of the owners of Harris and Drury, he would always answer, Harris and Drury on the road. Then, like, but it was great. It was
Yeah.
absolutely great. You could communicate. And at some point, it dawned on our CEO at Food Corner Building. He was making fun of us. We were in New York, a group of us, and then there was a big problem in South Africa somewhere. Two of us picked up our phones right then and there, and from New York, right then and there, we called our office in South Africa. One of them was Harry, my boss, and then so he spoke to the boss over there. I spoke to the media person over there. We both solved the problem in literally 10 minutes. Hung up and told Brendan, "You see, Brendan, cell phones are very useful."
Hmm.
So how
Yeah.
about now? You are very much, like as an engineer, you deal a lot in numbers, but not only numbers. You deal in statistics, probabilities, all of that. How do you see artificial intelligence? Is it helping you, hindering you? You couldn't care less. What's the deal?
No, I mean, I think it's good. Well, let me put it this way: if you don't have artificial intelligence, which by now you go to Google, you use Gemini, and then you have AI, and at some point you can have the summary that artificial intelligence gives you when you search for something. Actually, you're not searching for something, you're asking a question, right? You're saying, okay, what about habeas corpus? What is the function of having habeas corpus? And then it gives you a summary. Okay, you can get the same summary, but it takes longer for you. And then you have to, the old way of doing searches without AI, it gives you a bunch of results, and then you read some of them, and then you decide where to dig deeper on one or the other one. The artificial intelligence is giving you a summary. Now, is the summary accurate and provides the information you're looking for? Maybe, maybe not. In some cases, I've seen, especially, the few, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, some of the searches were not that good.
Yeah,
They
they
were,
hallucinated.
they were afraid of being caught in a situation that may have some legal ramifications, and then they put the standard output that we don't want to give you that information because we're going to be in trouble if we really say what we want to say. Right?
But how about, for example, for mathematical analysis? One of the things I've used it a lot is you have a bunch of numbers, you throw them into ChatGPT, and you say, hey, this is what I want. I want the most common combination in this quintile. I want everything analyzed by quintiles. I want summaries. I want, like optimizations against
No, I
CPA.
think it's great. It's another tool. It's a great tool. I mean, I spent years troubleshooting problems in cellular networks, and all we had is data from this system, that system, that system, and we were doing basically artificial intelligence, although it was not artificial. We were looking at the data and trying to find commonality between one system and another, where it was failing, how it was failing. Because when the customer comes to you and says there's a problem, is the problem is big enough for them to call somebody else and try to see what the problem is. You have problems that there are two kinds of problems. One problem that happens frequently, but it's just a nuisance. It doesn't cause much problems, but it's annoying. But it happens. It happens. If it happens a lot, then you need to fix it
Yeah.
because people are gonna get upset, right? And the other kind of problems that happens once in a blue moon, right? It happens, but when it happens, the system goes down. You have an outage. That one you have to fix too, obviously. It may not
So what?
happen in 20 years. I don't know if you remember when in Congress there was a problem in one of the PBXs, the private
Phone
exchanges,
exchange. Yes.
and the system went down. And they found a problem that was like 20 years old. That software had never been touched in 20 years, and
Wow.
the conditions happened in such a way that it happened. It happened only once, but the system was down and it had to be rebooted and took hours to come up with stable situation. So those are the two type of problems. And I don't know why I went in that
AI
direction,
and helping you prove problems.
but
Actually,
yes, artificial intelligence, to give you an answer, yes, absolutely, it's going to be a tool. It's going to be a very useful tool, and especially if the tool is designed or tailored for specific problems or specific data that you're looking for. You know,
yeah.
for the general public, it's just it's making us less lazier, lazy. And because before we had to put a little bit more effort in trying to find like a summary that now it's given to you automatically.
Yeah, I was more intrigued from the mathematical engineering point of view, saying now you have a tool that you can say, here, have this massive amount of data and look for that. And if you don't
Hmm.
like it or you think, oh yeah, then you can actually go and say, okay, you did that. It has the memory of that. You did this.
Oh, yeah,
Now
yeah,
I
yeah.
want you to look at it this other way, and another
Yes.
way, and
Yeah, yeah.
another way, and
Yeah,
another way. And it never gets tired.
yeah, yeah, because what they do is they have a context. When you interrogate one of these engines, right? You come up with the basic question, right? And then it's like you're talking to another person in a way, because you're talking to how's the weather or what are you going to do for vacation, and then you ask well another question, right? And the question is implicit to the other person what you mean with what you're saying. Well, the same thing happens with the artificial intelligence engine, right? It creates a context, and within that context it's going to continue. It's not going to look for again the whole internet to give you the second answer. it already knows what the context is,
Yeah.
and then it's much, you know, focus on what you want to have.
I absolutely love that. That, and then also with ChatGPT, one of the things I've done is whenever now I have a presentation somewhere, I don't even bother looking for illustrations. I say, give me an illustration, a photorealistic illustration of a businessman checking into a luxury hotel.
Yeah.
Then I get that, and no, I don't like that one. Do the other one. Do the other one. Do the other one. And it's $20 a month. I mean, how can you beat that?
Yeah, I mean,
Incredible.
it's making your life easier, right?
Yes.
And then it can be repetitive until you like it. And it's something that we were doing manually
Yeah.
before, and now is we have a tool that can do it automatically for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I was talking to somebody else about it, and so ages ago, I created an attribution model for Nabisco, basically trying to answer the question of how do we launch cookies and crackers better. So it was very limited, cookies and crackers, but
Hmm.
big business. So we took 3 months just to collect the data from like a dozen countries covering 18 months. 3 months just to collect data and homogenize it.
Yeah,
Because even though you sent a spreadsheet that you want, filled out, people do whatever people want to do. So
yeah,
so
yeah.
we had to hire a person, homogenize the data,
What is this guy asking me now to do?
and then it took 6 months for a person trained in statistics
Yeah,
to go through all of the data, because we had to quantify some of the data, like promotions and whatever. It took 6 months, so it took about 9 months, all in all, to create something, a model
study. Yeah,
that would explain and would apply to launching cookies and crackers. Now, when we did, it really predicted 85% of all of the success of a cookie or a cracker. So it was worth it. Today, you could probably do that in a week using ChatGPT,
yeah, yeah.
but of course, you need the data. So that's the other part.
Of course. Yeah.
So then, to end, all of us are, what can I tell you? All of us are older. All of us have been hired and fired many times. We have
Hmm.
hired and fired people.
I haven't been fired yet.
I have.
I wasn't fired.
Oh, okay, I was
I decided
absolutely
to move to another job. What they say,
okay. So you were not fired. I
No,
was.
but I mean, no, I was because in a way, I think it's when you are in a management position, it's much easier to fire you.
I mean,
Even if the other guy doesn't like you and he has more power, he's gonna fire you. But the guy that is actually doing the crunching and all that,
yeah.
I don't know if it's like the commercial from Bloomberg. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No.
Oh, it's excellent. You know, it talks about Bloomberg philanthropies. We are the guys that do the crunching. We are the guys that do this. We analyze, and it's really really try to look for it. Very
Well,
good.
I'll try to look for it, but I was given fair warning. By the way, I was told by my boss, you can, because I was an executive VP, you can only be fired by a member of the board.
Uh-huh.
Okay. By the way, so and so, who is a member of the board, will be here on Monday, and we're gonna have lunch.
that was
I was like,
that
okay,
was
let
your
me back
warning.
up my entire computer.
Yeah.
But but let's say, okay, so you haven't been fired, so you haven't been through that. But let's say you're gonna be a consultant, right? And I am
Yeah.
planning to have a video edit of all of these answers, so it's gonna be fun. And I already told you about Beate's bucket,
Yeah.
about Romi's LNM,
Yeah.
LLM. Um, so you're consulting with somebody who's a CEO. That CEO is hiring a candidate in your industry for definitely, some kind of high position. There's people from all ages. What do you tell that CEO about candidates who are 55 plus?
Well, people need to have an open mind. That and you expect CEOs to have an open mind. So what I would say is don't take a position like this guy is in his 50s or 60s and he's going to be all he's going to be. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He forgets about things. He's been around for a long time, and he probably has lived through similar situations before, and he knows what works and what doesn't work. And you just give it a chance. Give it a chance, because it could happen that older person, it doesn't work. You know, not because you are 60 or 55 it is going to be a great person to work for. But on the other hand, you should not have a prejudice, and because it will go against it. You will never know, by the way, if you
Right.
made the right decision, right? And maybe in the back of your mind and say, you know what, I should have taken this other guy, because this guy that I got doesn't seem like is the right person for that position.
So you can hedge your bets by hiring somebody who's over 55, at
Oh yeah,
least.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Of course,
Great.
to just keep an open mind, and then I think it's gonna work out for you, because a person that has come to that point and is looking for a job, he's looking for a job because probably he enjoys it, and maybe he has already enough money to retire, but he has decided he still loves what he does, and then that counts more than anything.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm still working. What can I tell you?
You know.
So anyway, thank you very much, Emilio. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
So I'll call you later. So to
All
tell
right.
you about my plans and everything. We're leaving for Spain in a few
Okay.
days. Okay,
All right.
man. Thank you very much. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Oh,
Take
no
care.
problem. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.